Okay, so I'm going to make a presentation, a video presentation, an interactive video presentation. And so we'll just spend the first 2 or 3 minutes understanding how that's going to work. So I'm just going to share my screen.
Really the right report when I need it.
Okay, so you should all be able to see here on your screen a QR code and also www.menti.com. Can we all see that, guys? Can you just write in the chat just to make sure that you're all seeing it? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our phones, these devices, and we can screenshot this QR code, and it will take us to www.menti.com and sign into this interactive presentation so that we can actually participate. Oh, awesome. I've already got someone who's already entered here. And if you can just give me the thumbs up, I've just entered as well, give my thumbs up. If you don't have your phone, don't worry, okay? I'm just gonna show you here what we can do. You can go to menti.com, like so, and just put in the code 7459, 7459, and 2464, 2464, and we can join like so. So now I'm in, I've given you the thumbs up, and it is now reflected here. Wow, we've already got 11 people. Okay. Let me just full screen again. Okay, fantastic. And at any point during the presentation, if you get lost, you will see menti.com and you'll be able to put in the code just at the top here, join@menti.com, use code, okay? And I'll also leave this up here as well, this QR code, if you need it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about human to AI book creation. It's going to be the topic of the roundtable. And yeah, this is something very exciting. We're really excited to share what we've found, and we're really excited to hear what everyone thinks as well and get some nice discussion around the topic. So let's practice using Mentimeter. So we have the first question, where are you all joining from? So on your device or on the computer tab that you're using to interact with it, please tell me where are you joining from? So I'm going to put where I'm joining from. Oh, Switzerland. Fantastic. Austin, Texas. Wow, look at that. Oh, all over. Florida, Washington. Wow. All over. That's amazing. Wow, so we've got 26 responses. Oh, that's fantastic, guys. So you guys are really using the tool well. Okay, so all over, we've got a very American focused. And guys, if for some reason you can't use Mentimeter, just put it in the chat. I can see you guys are already doing that already, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. All right. Sorry. So guys, let's select your situation. Okay. So guys, I think it's being blocked at the moment. One is I've written a book before. You should see it on your device. Okay. 2 is I want to write a book. And the other one is I'm curious about the process. Okay. Oh, interesting. We've got a lot of people who have written a book before. Wow. 12 of you have already written a book. Okay. That's really okay. This is awesome. So we've got some experts. Okay. And then we've got I want to write a book. Okay, and then I'm curious about the process. Okay, interesting. This is really valuable data for us, by the way, guys. So thank you. So we can see kind of the makeup of the audience that we have here. Okay. So meet your hosts. Jan, I'm going to let you take the mic and introduce yourself. Jan? You're on mute.
I got it. I'm Jan Zucker. I am the owner of Digital Content Creators, and I'm north of New York City by about 30 miles. And I've been in the publishing business for more years than I want to count, but it's over 40 years. And it ranges from magazines to publishing a magazine to a bookstore to now owning digital content creators. And I speak with authors and coaches every day of the week, and I enjoy it incredibly. And I'm here to help and answer any questions. We have created some things that we think is amazing, and you'll see the whole process in action today.
Fantastic. And Christine, do you want to introduce
Hi,
yourself?
everyone. Of course, I went. Hello, everyone. I'm Christine. I'm the project manager at DCC. So what I basically do is I help coaches and authors publish and manage their books and e-learning courses together with Jan. I'm happy to be here. Nice to meet you all.
And I'll introduce myself, guys. I'm the person who puts on these virtual events, and I also work in operations with at Digital Content Creators. And I've done many roundtables like this before. Okay, I'll just share my screen again, and then we'll go to our guest speakers. Okay, so Amy, if you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Take myself off mute. Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Collette. I'm the founder of Unleash Your Inner Author, which is a book coaching and publishing company. I'll just give a quick background. I started working with people after I became an author to write their own books. And I would get these manuscripts and people said, here, Amy, here's my baby. It's all done. I'm so proud of it. And then I'd read the book, and so many times, so often I found the book needed so much work, and it needed to be reorganized and sometimes rewritten. And so I wanted to start with people before they write the book. So those of you who are already authors know that it takes a lot of clarity up front to know exactly what you're doing, where you're going, who you're writing for, and what your own goals are. So that's what I do now with Unleash Your Inner Author.
And Marcus Neukom, if you can introduce yourself.
From Zurich, Switzerland. Will soon be moving to Boston. I just survived another flu, so my voice is pretty much still gone. I'm an advisor to tech entrepreneurs, their board members, and venture capitalists. Jan and I collaborate on a very interesting project, and Amy and I had this amazing conversation, which probably kind of kicked off this conversation here in terms of how much of your natural voice is really needed in a book. Because, you know, the conversation is how much AI, how much natural voice. And so I'm really curious to see where you guys are at. I've moved quite a bit toward less is possible. And I'm astonished what's possible with AI. So I'm curious to hear your input tonight.
Thank you, Marcus. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to sharing, and let's see what you guys think before we will get into breakouts very shortly, okay, and start discussing some of the topics. Okay, but before, Jan, why do you need a book?
So in talking to authors and coaches, we basically have three separate categories. We get people who already have a manuscript, and whether they need editing or whether they need typesetting or cover design, that's one. And those come normally from referrals from self-published authors or from our regular clients who are small publishing houses, book coaches like Amy, or editors who we've made arrangements with. The second group is people who have a burning desire to write a book. It's coming from their heart. They have this idea, they've had it all their lives, and they want to write a book. And they don't know how to, or they don't know where to start. For those people, a book coach is the perfect one. And I normally recommend Amy because I use her as my book coach. The third group, and that will become more and more prevalent, is people who want to use a book as an asset, who need it to improve their reputation, improve their influence, and get more attention and become a thought leader in their segment. And when they ask me, how do I do it? I said, well, if you don't want to write a book, then hire a ghostwriter, then an editor, then you're going to have the typeset, and then you're going to have it published and upload it to Amazon or whatever digital distributor you want to. And they said, well, how long will that take and how much will it cost? So I say, I'm not quite sure, but from my experience, ghostwriters can charge $25,000, $30,000, up to $100,000. And it takes about a year. So from start, and once they hear that, their mouths drop wide open. So one of the reasons we're here today is I was looking for a way of increasing these people's knowledge and getting it out there without that type of cost, without that type of time involved. And in talking to our team, we decided that when AI was first introduced, we brainstormed about it and we played around, and Evan, myself, and Christine, and Marcus and Amy came up with a great concept. We're able to take a great tool in AI, and by the way, if you are using AI and you haven't upgraded to the new Preview 01, it's a totally different experience in Chat 4.0. And we were able to then take a person's content that they already have, either their coaching content, their LinkedIn posts, or any other content, along with a detailed questionnaire and an interview with a book coach, put it all into a number of different chats different prompts that Evan came up with, not just one AI, but there's a series of different AIs that we use. And it comes out with a outline, it comes out with a title, a bunch of different titles, and it comes out with a complete book once the process is finished. So we start with the outline, we go through the first chapter, and there's always a book coach or an editor involved in the process. So it's not just AI, because just AI will be just like everyone else's book. It needs personal experience. It needs your experience. It needs your knowledge, the way you teach, the way you coach, the way you want to interact with people. That's what our system is trying to accomplish. And you'll see how it works.
Thanks, Jan. So let's get to actually asking you guys. Okay, so I've just already got it on the interactive presentation. Okay, what challenges does writing a book present to you guys? So we've got creative roadblocks is one challenge. What else, guys? What else do you find when writing a book? What challenges do you? Time constraints. Yes, that's a massive one. Amy, do you want to speak to time? That's come up twice now.
Yeah, that's a big one. Every author I work with comes up against time. So we have the real challenges of time that are, we're busy people, we're running businesses, we're raising families, we've got a million things to do. And there's the hidden aspects of the time constraint. And that by that, I mean, are you using time as a way to procrastinate? And I don't mean that in a judgy way, but there can be a lot of fears that come up when we're telling a very personal story, or even a story from our experience, sharing our opinions. This can all trigger a lot of fear and imposter syndrome. So sometimes it's very easy to use time as an excuse. So as a coach, I would be asking you a lot of questions about that and helping you come up with a way to schedule or block your time so that you can create this expansive space for you to write, and also maybe look at those fears that might be hiding or lurking behind your time issues.
Thanks, Amy. And Marcus,
Oh, I'm sorry, I saw a question.
Sorry, and I want to give Marcus an opportunity to speak on
No
imposter
problem.
syndrome, just because that's his area of expertise. So Marcus.
Yeah, imposter syndrome is something really interesting, and I studied that quite a bit in 20 years of doing what I'm doing. And the good news is imposter syndrome is usually a symptom. It's not the cause. And I figured out and give it some thought that imposter syndrome, the cause of it is basically an authenticity struggle, meaning I do not really believe that I know what I know. I do not really believe that who I am. I do not really believe that I'm as good as I am, in spite, and that's actually the definition of imposter syndrome, in spite of having all the freaking proof. So the opposite of imposter syndrome is basically confident authenticity or authentic confidence. We can switch it because, you know, being overconfident is very dangerous. Being falsely authentic is very dangerous, but actually being able to manage to put authenticity and confidence together, guess what happened? Imposter syndrome, poof. Literally, poof. So do not focus on imposter syndrome because, sorry, my language tonight, I'm a bit tired. You're screwed. Literally, you're screwed. If you believe in imposter syndrome, you're screwed.
Absolutely awesome. So guys, I'm just going to go very quickly. So we've got, you know, a lot of it is time. There's also clarity about what to write. That's a huge one. And yeah, then, you know, how are you original? Okay, these are really big. Awesome, guys. This is really helpful. I'm just going to move on now to some of the pros and cons. So Jan, you kind of already talked about this already. So using let's start.
Question first. So how many? So there's a question there with people with the thumbs up. So many books out there. How do you know the topic to write about? So the way you can look at that is by some research. So go to Amazon, look at your categories, and see what's missing from the category. If you have your own course or your own thoughts about something, then see what other people have missed. And that's one way you can see a niche. And from that niche, you can then target it in your social media or your promotion or your marketing.
Fantastic, thanks, Jan. And so we've got the cons and the pros of AI, and then the balance. So Amy and Jan, you guys have kind of been like working on this area. Jan, do you want to kind of like talk about what you've been working on and the pros and cons?
Well, I am a pro AI guy because I've seen what it does. The cons of AI is if you don't use your own voice and if you don't become part of the conversation and you don't include your own experience. If you just use AI, you're going to be producing noise and you're going to be ignored. If you only use AI, you're going to be if you don't use AI, you're going to be left behind because it's going to take you forever. Most authors do a lot of research before they do a book. Nonfiction authors do a lot of research before they do a book. So going on Google and researching is no different than talking to one of the AI programs and asking it to do the research. It's much faster, it will organize it, and will save you an enormous amount of time. But again, I'll emphasize it. AI alone is not good enough. And if you have the time, of course, write your own book. Go to Amy, go to a different book coach. Go spend $50,000 and have a proofreader do it. You'll have to have time to do it. And I will go after the breakout, I'll go through how I wrote my book and my interaction with Amy on what she said about it.
So, thanks, Jan. So guys, let's get into breakout rooms. What do you guys want to write a book about? So what is the book that you're thinking of writing? If it's your first book or your next book, it would be really good for us to kind of get into some groups of 3 or 4 and just discuss what is our desire at this moment in time. Okay, so I'm gonna create the breakout rooms right now. We're going to have 9 minutes in the breakout. I'm going to put you into groups of 3s and 4s. And so at 9 minutes, if it's a group of 4, that gives everyone 2 minutes to speak. Please respect everyone's time, speaking time, and try to allow everyone in the group to share what they're working on and what book they want to write. Okay, so I'm going to open the rooms right now. Okay. Here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back. Hello everyone, welcome back. Okay, just last 10 seconds while we get everyone back into the main room. Let people finish off their sentences. All right. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. I just jumped into people's rooms. Some really cool conversations happening on the nature of AI, book writing, everything. Yeah, really cool to see. I'm going to share my screen, and if you guys could just tell us some of your book ideas, some of the book ideas that you guys talked about. You guys could just write them here so we can have a look.
How do you do?
Zombies. So guys, you can either just put it in the chat, or you can you go to menti.com and use the code 74592464. Trauma zombies. Who would you be if you were free? Awesome. Business management from the middle of the pack.
I'm sorry, my mic was turned off.
That's fine. If you can keep your mic off for now, just because otherwise it becomes a bit chaotic if everyone's got their mics on. Thank you. An updated manual for police public information officers, professional development book on change management, guide to revision in fiction rather than self-editing, unleash your impact, how to write your transformational book to change lives. Nice. So we've got a lot of good non-fiction books here in the works. Fantastic. To be or not to be an executive coach. How cavemen can use AI. Okay, cool. So that's aligned with what we're doing. We're trying to simplify the use of AI. Okay, fantastic, guys. I'm going to move on. So how we've been using AI to write a book. So I think that's quite interesting. So Jan, can you share with everyone how we've been using AI? They might be curious. Where's Jan?
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Ken, I can hear you. Jan, you're on mute. There it is. I found it. Okay. All right.
All right, so hold on a second. Let me get to where I am. So this is an actual book. Let me get to the beginning of it. This is how it starts. So at 8:15, Amy and I had a 45-minute discussion about the book I want to write. And this book is not a book about me. It's a book about my experience in the publishing industry over the last 50 years. So over the course of the next month, I spent this amount of time on the first 2 chapters. This I should have sent is start of chapter 3. So I asked chat for the working titles, and these are what it came out with, and this is the one I picked. The Content Revolution, Creating the 3 Pillars of Influence. So the 3 Pillars of Influence is a book, an e-learning course, and social media. And basically it's for coaches who don't have the time or effort to create content. And then it's a journey through 50 years of content and influence. So once I had all of that, I asked it for the outline of the 5 chapters. So here are the outline, and the outlines are fairly similar for each chapter. This is a chapter 1, a personal journey through 50 years. An overview, the key topics are from typewriter to digital, the rise of digital media, the advent of AI. And then here is the key part. It asks for your personal experience. Because without this, it's just a history with nothing else behind it. And it'll just take whatever it has out there on the history of content, and it will mean nothing to anybody, because anybody could look it up. But when you add your story to it, it becomes a whole different book. So I'll go through every chapter was done that way. The evolution of content creation, the birth of the 3 pillars, lessons from the front lines, embracing the future with the 3 pillars, and then it comes to the actual book. So here's the book. The working title is The Content Revolution. Subtitle is that, and here's my preface. And on the right, you will see Amy's comments on my book. She would say, where this is, I would reorganize this preface to make it more engaging and flow better. And I answered her, is this any better? I think it works. This is what we talk about when we talk about human to AI. It's not that she's writing the book. There's a lot of history of content evolution out there. And anybody who writes a nonfiction book has content out there and does research. This is no different than that. But when you get to the personal story, it becomes this. I'll never forget the first time I was asked to read a telegram and let my boss know what it says. And, I'm sure a lot of people, they don't even know what a telegram is. But at that time, I was working for my uncles, and it was a magazine distributor, and they were getting shipments from Europe, and they wanted to know when it was coming to the dock. So this is what we would get. And then it goes on, and Amy made her comments. I think you need to describe what a telex is and incorporate blah, 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 blah. And then I did that. And her comment, yes, I like it. It flows well and is engaging. And then it tells me, it goes into my history that I've done. And she comments right along the way. And then here is chapter 2, the evolution of content creation, consumption, and distribution. So when I did this, she said, this sounds like AI. Get rid of it. And I got rid of it. And then I added my personal story about going from a fax machine from dictation to a Selectric typewriter, where you can actually change your fonts. First time it ever happened, it actually had a little memory in it also. And that is how the process works. It's a back and forth. It takes very little time to add your own personal information to it. And it turns out to be a really good book. People who read what I've done here cannot tell the difference between AI and myself. And really, there is no difference because it's my history and it's the history of the industry. So, whether I researched it on Google or I lived through it, or I did it through AI, it's basically the same thing. And that's my, that's the beginning of my book. So I'm now on chapter 3. And Amy and I will continue to work together. I would imagine it's going to take me about 10 hours over 2 months to make it a real book.
Fantastic. So you can see, guys, like that's how we've been using it. Amy, do you want to comment on your kind of how the process was from your perspective?
Yeah, it's very interesting because I have to say I'm a little more cautious about AI than Jan is. Jan's an early adopter, very enthusiastic about technology, and I'm a little more cautious about it because I feel like what we're doing in our books when we're writing from the heart and we're telling our own personal stories, there's no way AI can write that, right? And that's what I feel like my contribution is to Jan's book is I can say in one part, late in the book, it was all AI. And I found places like that. And I said, there's no Jan in here. We need some personal humor, some perspective, some history, because that's how humans connect, is through personal story. So AI, I think, is really great for helping us do research and even brainstorming titles, chapter titles, those kinds of ideas. I think that's great use of AI. But there's no one or no thing else that can tell your story the way you can.
Fantastic. Thanks, Amy. Yeah, really great points. And a lot of these points came out of the discussion earlier. So guys, let's go into our next breakout. Okay, you guys kind of already talked about this already, but the question is, share the screen. How will you use AI when writing your book? How will you use it? Because there's different levels to how much you can use it. So yeah, I'm going to randomize the groups. Okay, guys. So you should be in theory with different people, but if you're with the same person, great. Just deepen the connection. Okay, let's open the breakout rooms right now. I'm going to give it 9 minutes again. Recreating the rooms. Okay. There we go. Yeah, and Alison, are you okay? Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Okay, I think we have everyone. Fantastic. Some really good conversations again. So let's just finish off, guys. We've got like 9 minutes left. We'll just do like a quick Q&A. Let me just share my screen again. Okay, so guys, ask our experts your questions. Okay, guys. We had some questions come in already. So, but if you just go to thementi.com or you go to your device, you should be able to ask any questions. So let's see if any questions come in. Questions, guys? Okay. Oh, we've got one already. How much would it cost to do AI with Book Coach? Jan, I think this is for you to talk about. Jan, you're on mute.
So the costing depends on a lot of different factors. Depends on the type of book, the complexity, and the length. It certainly causes less than working with a book coach totally, if you have AI do the heavy lifting. But I think each book coach is a different breed, and each one has their specialties. So I think you would need to find the one that you're comfortable with and discuss that. It's something that I don't necessarily want to get involved in until you're ready to do it. And then you can see how it works.
Fantastic. So we've got the second question, guys. I'll just share my screen again quickly so you can see it. Do you have services or package related to AI book writing?
Yes, we do.
Okay, fantastic. So yes, we do. So guys, you can get in contact. Number 3, what AI tools can you recommend?
Evan, you take that one.
Okay, yeah. So I'll actually recommend, for the vast majority of you, would just get a paid subscription to the OpenAI. However, and that's for everyday tasks. However, Claude is much better for writing. So Claude, I'll just write it in the chat here, guys. It's called Claude. If you just search Claude AI to Google, from Anthropic is the name.
And I have
much better writing.
I have a different opinion than Evan. I've used both, and I like chat better than Claude. And it could be that my prompts are not as good as Evan's for Claude. And a lot depends on the prompt.
It could be the prompts. Yeah. What I come from more of a marketing standpoint. So guys, like in terms of the copywriting, the quality of the copy is much better with Claude for writing emails and that kind of stuff. So I would say Claude. And then there's also, I'll give you guys it's called OpenRouter. OpenRouter is the one I use because it allows me to choose whichever AI model I want. So it's a one chat, and I can use any AI model on the market. I just pay per credit. So that's really the best one. Yeah. Called OpenRouter AI. And that's what I use every day. So I just choose the model for the task. It's a little bit more advanced, but it's definitely worth it. And it's very cheap as well. If you just pay per use credit, as opposed to you're paying a monthly fee of $20 for Claude, $20 for ChatGPT. If I was just kind of like stack all the models, I'd be spending maybe like $100 a month. But if I just do by credits and by use, then I'm spending maybe $20 a month on I'm using any model I want. So OpenRouter AI, guys, that is the one that I recommend.
So
okay.
Someone asked me if it's, I said it was good for fiction. I thought I said it wasn't good for fiction yet.
Okay, good. So yes, I don't have any experience with fiction writing, but yeah, Jan has told me before in the past that it's not good for fiction yet. Okay, and then we've got the 4th question, guys, just very quickly. How do AI tools compare in cost? I kind of covered that with OpenRouter. So OpenRouter allows you to not worry too much about the cost of all these different tools. Okay, guys, we've got 4 minutes left. I'm going to just take this time to get a little bit of feedback from everyone. This is our first roundtable as DCC. So what worked, guys? What did you like about the session today? So that we can continue to do it going forward. We intend to have these sessions frequently. The variety of people, yeah, absolutely. Great group. The breakouts are great. Yes, more breakouts. Okay, so that's coming up. More breakouts. We'll do more breakouts next time. I agree. Meeting folks, great insights on prompting. Breakout rooms. Yeah, breakout rooms are great. Interesting people. Absolutely. The breakouts were successful but short. Okay, and how to continue. So yeah, we will everyone who signed in today, guys, will email you all of the people that participated. We'll send you an email. Meeting with new faces, really good advice. Awesome. Okay, guys, what could we do differently? Let's make some suggestions for the next breakout session, so that we can improve these as we go. Longer time, guys. Whoever said that, can you put that in the chat to your suggestion? I didn't hear you. Longer time. That's I don't understand.
Marketing. Want to know how to market the book?
Okay. Information on how to market a book. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that you're talking about the topic. Okay. So you would like us to explore the topic of marketing. Okay. Bouncing between screen sharing does not make the Zoom chat box, and don't makes the Zoom chat box difficult to use. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, I kind of have to do that, but I'll see how I can maybe limit it going forward.
Longer time, more
Right.
information, how much time, how, most people can't stand for an hour, so that's why we limited. We can absolutely create more time if it's needed, so.
Specific pros and cons and tips. Okay. Awesome.
Copyright and
so we're
legal
coming.
concerns are gonna be a conference on it, a roundtable on it by itself, and I'm doing a lot of research on that currently.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone. We want to respect everyone's time. We're going to finish on the hour. Thank you so much for coming, and please tell your friends, tell your colleagues, because it's completely free, and we'd like to spread the word.
And we'd like to
Let's
share the
meet more and more
information that
people.
we have and help as many people as we can for as long as we can. Because in this world today,
Absolutely.
we all need help.
Absolutely can. And we'll be sending, like I said, we'll be sending an email to everyone who participated today. So thank you, everyone. And
Thank you.
goodbye.
Thank you.